Hi, folks. This is the Candy Shop Show. This is Candy broadcasting from the beautiful green Ozarks, and we've got a great show for June 15th, 2016. Wow, we're just 5 days before the important summer solstice, and we've got a fantastic guest speaker returning from Canada, and a great show for this evening. So we want to welcome all humans everywhere here tonight and later on YouTube, and our galactic friends from throughout the universe. Okay, let's start with the candy jar treats. I'm opening the lid, and wow, I hope folks have listened to Benjamin Fulford's reports. There are certainly a lot of things going on, some moving and shaking, and it's very fascinating. It's encouraging and exciting. We hope that what Benjamin is reporting is really going to be manifesting very soon. Of course, there's been a lot of predictions for big changes, and that this is the year of change in 2016. Well, where weather is changing here. Instead of being wet, now we've got 6 days of 100-degree weather, and so we're seeing how this is going to affect humans and our gardens and things. Although I was pleased to find some dew to drink yesterday morning early. Remember, do your meditations, drink the dew if you've got some in your area, and just tune in to the galactics, set your intentions to have your psychic abilities improve as we're going into 5D with more telepathy abilities, more messages through your dreams, your astral flights, and everything. Well, as Benjamin Fulford says, there's lots of changes in our financial system, just like Chris Jacobs has said there's going to be. And I'm wanting to ask my friend that's on the call tonight, Dave. He's been teaching me even more about Bitcoins, like we've been talking about, and I wanted to ask Dave a question. Dave, how long have you been involved in the Bitcoin buying and selling?
I've been buying and selling Bitcoin for about 3 years.
Okay. Well, and the price of Bitcoins has really changed in the last couple of weeks, hasn't it?
Yes, it's up quite a bit.
Right, all from like 450 to 650. So I hope some of my listeners have been listening to me and advising them to buy Bitcoin, because if you did, you made a big profit in the last few weeks. But Dave, what reason? Why should people in the near future, in a few years from now, be holding Bitcoin?
Well, Bitcoin allows you to pay people that are not near you, sort of like PayPal. But when you use PayPal, you have to trust PayPal and your bank and a whole bunch of other institutions. Whereas with Bitcoin, you're not trusting any institutions.
Like a day being nuts.
Oh. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, so
throw potatoes.
You must really believe in Bitcoin that you've been doing it for over 3 years.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
It's been my living for those 3 years.
Even delicious cheese. Oops.
Wow. Okay.
Sonny, just star 6, sorry.
Okay. Well, thanks, Dave. And folks, I got a little announcement here before I put the lid on the candy jar, and I just want to say that with Dave's encouragement this week, I have gone out and put ads up about my Bitcoins that I'm buying and selling, and the website that I really like the best is called localbitcoins.com. Localbitcoins.com. Yeah, Bitcoins. Yeah, localbitcoins.com. And if you put in my zip code, you'll see my ad. Just 64862. So that's 64862. And so just be thinking about Bitcoins and what we've talked about the future as the regular monetary system goes down. Well, listen, we've got a lot of advice from our galactic friends, and we want to invite them in. Before I leave this topic, though, did anybody have a quick question about Bitcoins?
Can you use them everywhere? Can you use them everywhere?
There are a lot of places where you can use your Bitcoins. Places in Europe, places in South America, places in America, Japan, China. Bitcoins are all over the planet.
Can you cash them in and use cash or something like that? Is it kind of like silver and gold?
Sure. In fact, I just bought some silver with Bitcoin about 2 weeks ago from kitco.com, and there's some other silver dealers that also accept Bitcoin. Oh, that might not have been Kitco. That might have been silver.com. See, I get mixed up because there's so many of them.
So you can kind of cash them in if you want to. So you can use the money. But, okay, thank you.
Yeah, there's also Bitcoin exchanges, which require you to sign up, and a lot of times they ask for identification and stuff like that. So some people don't like using them, but if you go through that, then you can send your Bitcoin to the exchange. You can sell them on the open market, and then that exchange has a credit for you in your local currency, dollars or yen or wherever you are, and then you can have the exchange send that to your bank.
Okay, there you had it. Good questions, Elizabeth. Good questions. Well, listen, folks, we want to set the stage right for the next part of our show, and I'm going to ask Sonny to come in and lead us in the important affirmations that we give regarding the law of one. I would like my audience to just relax and take a deep breath and get ready for Sonny. And so, yes, Sonny, great.
All right. If you're ready, I will begin. And may the blessings of this law of one be on us all and on our whole world, our country, all the nations, and stop all this division and this agenda that's keeping people fighting and in fear. So, with that being said, we are all one. When one is harmed, all are harmed. When one is helped, all are helped. Therefore, in the name of who I am, and I am one with all there is, I ask that only that which is the highest good of all concerned happen here and now, And I give thanks that this be done, and so it is. So be it. Blessings.
Oh, thank you, Penny.
Quite welcome.
Elizabeth, do you have any announcements that you'd like to share on the show tonight?
Well, just remember Saturday we're going to have a special call with Chris at 12 noon Central on the Diamonds line here. Same number. Me and Candy will be with Chris. And Mark, if you can make it, maybe you can come and say hi to Chris, and we'll do a little spot there, like for 10, 15 minutes. That would be great if you feel like it. And let's see, what else? Well, we got good news from the Galactics on Monday's call. Came through Cynthia, and that they just are really enjoying the energies that's coming out of the Diamonds Network shows. And they're really, really, really happy. And I think they know a lot more than we do. Surprises abound, Diamonds Network. Diamonds, keep on shining, everybody. So, and just be nice and good to yourself. We're all changing right now. We're heavy. I always say that, but now we're really heavy into the transition for action time come November. Remember, November starts actually 2017 according to Sidereal Astrology. That app and comes in on the first of the month and reviews the astrology energies with Cynthia, and hopefully he'll be there on the 4th of July. That's all for now. Thank you, Candy.
Well, thank you, Elizabeth. You've always got great things going on with the Diamond Network. Well, now I'd like to introduce our guest speaker, Mark Sorensen from Canada, returning from last week. How are you doing, Mark?
Hi, Candy. I'm doing very well, thank you. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, that sounds great. Sounds great.
Good. Yeah, so I'm glad to be back again this week, and as you know, there's lots of things happening every day, every week, and so on and so on. And there's many tales and many things to share as well.
Okay. Well.
And so, do you have any questions, or would you like to continue with?
Okay. I'm hoping that all our listeners have listened to last week's show for, I think it was June 8th. And if you haven't, you probably should go back and listen to it again. As Mark told his story of being awakened to who he really was at about 2007, and his journey since then to fulfill his purpose and help all on and in and around Earth. So, do you want to kind of pick up the story from there, or from 2009, and tell us about what happened maybe in 2012 for you?
Yeah, well, we can certainly continue from 2009. There's a couple events that are very significant, and in the lead up to 2012. So I thought that those would be relevant to bring up at this time.
Okay.
And so the next one comes to me is 2009. So we're going into 2010. We had again. The Crystal Council that I was working with. And so, again, this is the original Council of Atlantis, the ones who oversaw the crystals and the frequencies and the energies that I've been working with. And so we were brought together on Vancouver Island for a meeting. Not everybody could actually show up there physically. However, there was a majority of us. There was 8 of us there on site, and the other 5, because with myself there's 13, so the other 5 were tapping in via telephone system. So What had happened at that time is we gathered together. There was myself and another lady who had a very similar frequency as to mine, soul family frequency, and we were brought together to do ritual and ceremony. And again, the interesting thing is a lot of times we don't know exactly what it is that we're led or guided to do until the moment actually happens. And I have often thought about that, and I've really come to the understanding a few years back that it was because we were not supposed to know until the last minute in case there was interference or some things or some bodies of entities had attempted to stop us from doing what we're doing. And so what came about was there was myself and my female counterpart at the time. We were back to back and in a circle with the others around us. And, of course, we all go into a meditative state. And like I said last time, Candy, is that when we do this, we tend to go inside the Pyramid of Giza. This is our focal point for all of the meditations that we do. And there, again, is a purpose for that, as a reason. So in this time, we again bilocated ourselves into the Pyramid of Giza, and it was actually with the Pyramid of Giza that all this was happening. And what had come forward was it was working with Archangel Michael at that time. He had come forward to bring us each, myself and my counterpartner, an instrument. I was given my sword, and she was giving an object as well to hold on to as we were facing back to back. And we were told now to focus on these instruments in our hearts and tie in with the hearts of the group, and to ground ourselves into Gaia, because there was something was going to come through us. Well, I have to tell you, I was not expecting what came through me. It was the most excruciating energy that came up through my root chakra and my counterpart's root chakra, right up through our crown. And I let out a death-defying shriek. The energy was so strong that it went through me. And basically what had happened was we were sending this energy up through the top of the Pyramid of Giza. Now, you can only imagine that this energy, this is what the pyramid was actually used for at one point in time, for opening portals and gateways and passages to other, shall we say, parts of the universe. And so what we did was we went through, there was a series of 12 doors with 12 keys, and each doorway there was a guardian. And at each doorway I had a key with codes of light to release that would unlock these doorways. And these doorways would then take us to another part of the universe, and then we would unlock that doorway, and it would take us to another part of the universe and unlock that doorway, and it would take us to another part of the universe and unlock that doorway until we unlocked all 12 doorways. And then the energies were connected to the galactic central sun at the end and came down through this sacred geometry myriad of pathways through these doorways and past these guardians back down into Earth, tying in this frequency into the planet. And it was after the fact that we were told what we had done was we had brought a frequency into Earth to, shall we say, begin the process of awakening her chakras, which had been dormant for quite some time. Okay?
Yes, and now tell us again, what year and what month did you do this important ritual with Gaia?
That was in June 2010. June 21st.
Wow.
2010, all right?
Okay.
And so by opening up these energies to come through, we were told after the fact that this was what Lucifer and the dark entities had attempted to tap into, to steal, to take control of this planet, and also to expand their conquest of other galaxies and universes. However, this is what Ptah put a stop to by taking the capstone and sealing tight this doorway from the top of the Giza pyramid so that they could not access this, and they could not have their way, so to speak, with this energy and this source, which connected all the way to the galactic central sun. Because there's one thing to keep in mind here, Candy, is that Gaia, Sophia, Mother Earth, whatever you want to call her, she only knows creation. She only knows manifestation. She never really deciphered between good and evil. Just everything was creation in her sense and in her beingness and in her eyes, right? So whatever was done, whether it was for, in our mind, good or dark, was just done because there was no distinction between the two, right? Because there is really just experience. There is just what is, and it's all part of the experience that we as human beings and Sophia herself experiences on the planet. You follow?
Yes. Well, we usually refer to her as Mother Gaia.
Yes, of course.
I'm wanting people to think back to June 2010, June to late June 2010, because I want to say that I had an amazing kind of spontaneous healing shortly after, around July 1st of that year, and that healing has led to what I've been able to do several years later by, starting this candy shop show. So, like others, to reflect on their time after Mark and his group did this important ritual. We'll go on from there, Mark.
Okay, absolutely. So we're moving on into the fall equinox, and again our group has gathered. This time there was only 4 of us together in person, and the rest were on the call. And it was at this time I was told that I held the key to these crystal skulls, which would be used to activate and jumpstart the chakras from Mother Earth. Okay? And so each one of these chakras of the Mother has a specific crystal skull, which was created, shall we say, as a backup battery to boost her chakras or jumpstart her. And each one of these crystal skulls are on a higher dimension, on the 6th dimension, and they were 65 feet tall. And of course, there are all the various colors of the chakras, and each one was specific for each chakra. So again, we did a ritual with the group, our Crystal Council, and I again spoke the codes of light and invoked the crystals to start awakening these skulls and to activate with the key that I hold. And then these in turn activated the chakras of Mother Gaia, Mother Earth, to bring them up to full charge because they had been weakened a lot. They had been very damaged, very much tapped into of her energies and off balance. And so what we did at that time was bring forward her energy so that she would be able to function and operate, and it was also in preparation for her ascension in 2012. What we didn't know at that time, and again, everything, hindsight is 2020, right? So again, we're not really told all the specific steps that have to be happen. Again, keeping in mind that we may have been distracted or attacked or put out of commission by those who don't wish this ascension to occur, right?
Well,
so we always, as light workers, we always as light workers have to be mindful of that, and have to be watchful and be careful of who we share things with and what we do, especially depending on what we're here to do as well.
And especially in those years before we had this added protection that we have in 2016. Now this is wonderful. This vision that you've shared with us of these 65-foot tall crystal skulls. Certainly, we've had psychics that on the show and in my life where they talk about these entities and that are 25 feet tall, 65 feet tall, and it's just amazing. Now you're talking about a 6th density crystal skull, but we know that we have some of the real original crystal skulls on the surface of the planet that are about the size of a human skull. What's the link between the 6th density and the crystal skulls on Earth?
Well, as we understand, is the different densities. You have a physicality. So you have a physicality in the 3rd dimension. You have a physicality in the 5th dimension, and in the 7th dimension. The 6th dimension is a frequency pattern in between the 5th and the 6th. And so it's something that's not visible to our eyes, shall we say, something that is there, and the higher vibration, which we know it's there, and those of us who are working with these crystals have an understanding of them. It's also the same with the crystals of Atlantis, the ancient crystals that were used and operating to keep the frequencies of the planet, keeping the light, the energies, and so on. So those two are at a higher frequency and a higher dimension. So
well, I live very close to the quartz crystal fields of Arkansas.
Yes, I'm familiar with that.
And we're those of us light workers are quite concerned about how they're open to the public to come and search and remove these crystals, and we feel that it has been weakening Mother Earth to move those crystals from the fields that where they were supposed to be left in Arkansas. And so certainly I can see why Mother Earth needed some help from 6th density to get healed and stronger.
Indeed, yes. And so from there, once that had moved along, then we were preparing for the next wave. There was the 10-10-10, which was, I think that was that not the Arkansas activation, 10-10-10? I can't remember correctly offhand, but I think it was around there, because then I'm going to move forward to 11-11-11, okay? And so again, our group is together. We're consulting and going into our meditative state in the pyramid, and we're given instructions that we need to be prepared. Something special is going to happen on 11-11-11. So that was the 11th month, 11th day, 2011. And so,
and listeners, think about what you were doing then, and right afterwards, you know, on the winter solstice. Very, very interesting dates that you're speaking of today. Go on, Mark.
Yeah, indeed. So 11-11-11. It was just a few days before that. It was 2 weeks before that day came about, and there was myself and two others. We did a special little call together, and was guided to reconstruct Stonehenge on the 6th dimension. Okay, and so I went there, and of course we know Stonehenge, where it is now, is not where it originally was. It was in Ireland, I believe, somewhere, and it was moved in the 50s. But anyhow, the sacred geometry itself, and so the rocks, the stones, the placement was reconstructed 2 weeks before 11-11-11 on the 6th dimension. And when we got together with our group on that day, there was a powerful burst of energy that came to Earth through, again, chanting the codes of light on that day. The energy came down from Arcturus, and it was the soul essence of Gaia, Mother Earth herself, coming back, embodying her body, filling her soul essence into the chakras, bringing life, full life, back to the physicality in the 3rd dimension of the Mother herself. because I don't recall if I did say, however, I will say it again this time, is that there was a time when there was some dark ones who wished to destroy the Mother Earth herself and split her in two so that they could steal her essence, her spirit, and take that energy back to their planet and use that to survive and live and carry on. And so there was a group of us who came here in the beginning, and we've been here all along watching the Earth, guardians. We created the Stonehenge, and we knew that something was coming, so we sent her essence, her soul, her spirit, to Arcturus for safekeeping. And so it was at that time on 11/11/11, which we brought her back after we reactivated the pyramid. We reactivated the chakras with the skulls, and the crystals were activating through Arkansas. And then now this on 11/11/11. It was a very powerful energy boost and life that came into the Mother. So again, do you remember where you were on 11/11/11, Candy?
Oh, yes, because November 10th, 2011 was my first wedding anniversary without my husband being in my arms physically. And so it was pretty emotional still for me, being quite raw as a new widow, and I was very meditative and reaching out to him. And of course, this was a year past my own healing, and so 11/11/11, and it was about that time. I think that the 11/11 message system that came to me in 2010. After my husband passed, I don't think that my guardian angels were trying to give me messages through the number systems, the 11/11 and 1/11 systems, and so yes, it's a very special time in my life, and I imagine in a lot of light workers' lives.
Yes, indeed it was. Definitely. There was a lot going on behind the scenes, and also there was a lot surfacing too, because there was not a lot of information out there. It was just beginning to come forward in bits and pieces here and there, as I recall. However, we were diligent. We kept our work, and we kept on doing what we had to do each and every week and each and every day until we came up to that point. Well, even leading up till today, there's been lots of work going on in that regard. So so let's jump forward then from 11/11/11. So we're going to go to 2012. So that was a big year with the ascension and the shifting of energies of what we've known as the Mayan calendar, the end of the calendar, and all the hoopla that came along with that, right?
Yes.
We had our group, my council again. We were down in. There was 4 members with Michael Tellinger down in South Africa at Adam's Calendar, and unfortunately, I was not with them at that time. I was in Canada. However, we were all on the call together. They were down there. We had one standing at the north point, one at the south, one at the east, and one at the west of the main node of Adam's Calendar. And again, my other energetic half at the time was working with me, and the others were on the call as well. And so once again, I brought forward codes of light, and so did she. Brought forward codes of light. And
now, Mark, these folks that you are been working with, are these folks all that you met after 2007?
Correct. These were the ones that were drawn to me within a year after my awakening.
Right. Okay.
Yes. So we've been
how
working.
The universe works. Yes. Go ahead.
Oh, yes, absolutely amazing. We were all drawn together so quickly too, and of course that's another story. So, but anyhow, so moving on. So here we are. We're on the call, and I'm invoking codes of light. And so is my other partner, my female partner at the time. And what we did at that time was we invoked the creation of the new earth in the sense of the incubation time, the 9-month pregnancy period, so to speak. So that was more or less the impregnation of the mother to prepare for her splitting off into a different frequency. All right? And so there was a gentleman who was with us, and his name, I will say this, his name was Ed Raikkoon, and he is an author, and he wrote a book about our experience. And I'll just share the name of the book, if that's okay, Candy.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah, the book is called Serve Gods or Be God. And people can look for it on Amazon. And the author, again, is Ed Raikkoon. So I've got a little 4 right in there, and so does my partner. And then Ed, of course, has written a book about the experience, what occurred and what was going on at that time with Sophia, with Gaia, with the council, and our experience of that day and that moment. So very exciting times, indeed.
And serve God or serve yourself?
Serve God or be God.
Oh, serve. Okay, great.
All right, so that's the title, Serve God or Be God, yeah. You can find it on Amazon.com, definitely. So anyhow, so needless to say, we were together for that event, and what was going on was the creation of the new earth at that time, preparing it for the 9-month period leading up to December 21, 2012. And so there was a lot of effort, a lot of energy, a lot of time with the council to assist Gaia in her ascension process to get her to where she was at that point in time, right? And of course, you know, there's other people working away. There's all kinds of light workers out there assisting and helping. And you know, in the last few years, there's been so many portals opening up and openings and prayers and intentions and thought. And this is all helping. This is all great because we need to do that to help humanity ascend. Mother Earth is going to ascend regardless of whether humanity goes or not. What we're working on now is on humanity, getting that frequency for our humans on Earth to ascend along with or shortly after Mother Gaia does, right?
Absolutely. We've talked on this show before about the dilemma. Mother Earth was going to ascend, and would there be enough humans? Would humans be able to ascend with her? And there was a great interest in helping humans to ascend with Mother Earth, and so it's going to happen at the same time for some of us, and a little bit later for the rest of us.
Indeed, it will. Yes, and so there is good news moving forward. We've been getting lots of good news, as we heard earlier in your Candy report from Benjamin Fulford, and of course even today I was in meeting today with some of the High Galactic Council members, as I am part of that. And we've been getting lots of nods and lots of confirmation and affirmation that everything is on plan, everything is moving forward. Masses are waking up. We still, are getting to that tipping point. And the other thing, too, which has been interesting is last week, actually, between calls here, I had a very special, shall we say, unscheduled meeting. However, there are no coincidences, right?
Right. Good.
And so this gentleman who I had befriended a while back, he's a healer and as well, and he's also tied into the council, the Earth Council here, and of course he's also works with them and the other councils. We have the elders of Lyra, the elders of Sirius, and the elders of Arcturus, who I work with. And we were informed that it is important to remember, and I don't know if you've heard this before or not. For me, it was a new understanding, so whether it was because I just needed to find out now or what the purpose was. However, I feel it's important to the listeners out there to understand this, because we talk about the 144,000 light workers to awaken and rise to come forward so that we may hit the crucial mass and bring humanity forward to the ascension, through the ascension, correct?
Yes.
So what was explained to me through this gentleman, Lawrence, I'll say his name, and he said that when you take a look at your soul essence, it's kind of like you have the yin and the yang, right? And so one half of that soul essence, that soul spark, rises up to the 12th dimension. The other half of that soul spark is divided into 9 segments. One of the segments of those 9 is the original DNA blueprint of that soul. The other 8 are frequencies and aspects of that original blueprint and original soul. So in essence, when we're looking at 144,000, we actually need to look at 144,000 times 9, because each one of these soul aspects has 9 sparks, and each one of those represents a human being on Earth, whether they've been here or if they have passed on, as we have heard in the last call that we did when this lady called about her male friend being a partner, being Ptah as well. And so I was informed that this gentleman was a soul spark, and that I am the original DNA blueprint of Ptah, and there are other Ptahs out there as well. And so each one of us serves our purpose for that which we are here for, contracted to hold the energies and to assist Gaia to ascend. So the idea is there's, 144,000 light workers, complete souls, yet we have to do the math times 9. So that brings us up to a little bit higher numbers. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does. You said something that was a little bit new to me, though, that I'd like to review. We light workers, we all refer to 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th densities, and all the way up to 15th or more. And you said I think I heard you say 5th and 7th densities were manifesting in a physical form, and 6th was not. Did I hear you correct? Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Do you know more about the densities and which ones are manifesting physically and which ones are not?
Well, again, this is the information that I've been given, is that the 3rd and 5th densities are, in fact, as we would call solid, as we see now as we touch and feel and tweak our cheeks, right? But when you get in between, see, when we rise through to the 4th dimension, it's not going to make a change to us. We're not going to disappear, or we're not going to poof out of sight, or when we go into the 6th dimension, it's just a shift from one phase to the next. As we rise up, our bodies are adjusting, the frequencies in our bodies are adjusting, and we're getting prepared. You know, there's a lot of communication and there's a lot of conversation about ascension sickness, ascension illnesses, nausea, lightheadedness, and all kinds of things like that as we rise up through into the 4th dimension, right? And so it is like a stage, a chamber getting us set for the next level as our frequencies in our bodies rise higher and higher. So when I say that our souls, our other half of our soul is in the 12th dimension, up there we're getting into all frequencies. There is no physicality, there is no solidness in that sense. Even myself, I've been up to the 17th dimension doing work, and even up higher beyond that. And so I understand that there's many levels and many planes in the dimensional aspects and understanding them. So I think it's probably easier for the listeners to grasp. First, we start with the 3rd, and then the 4th is like a mid-plane. The 5th, we've changed our full densities in the bodies, but yet we still are a physicality. The 6th, we're in between. And it's at the 7th where we can be a physical body or we can be just an energetic form, and it's our choice.
I see.
And does that make sense to you?
Well, it does, and so I'm taking notes here about this, and so and really maybe making a little chart. So putting the odd numbered levels on one column and the even levels on the other one, and perhaps there's a continuing, between 5, 7, 9, and 11, as opposed to 6, 8, 10, 12.
Yes. So that gives you an idea of the different vibrations and frequencies as we rise higher and higher.
Okay. All right. Well, going back to your story, then a lot of us follow David Wilcox, and I certainly have read the 5 books of the Law of One, and and he speaks about his guides asking him to write a book about 2012, and he needing to put some misleading information in it because it wasn't time to reveal the truth, which he was allowed to start revealing in 2014, 2015. But still, his book about 2012 got his name out there and got his audience started, and that was something that was important too.
Oh yes, absolutely. And it's funny you say about getting books out. I too have written a book, and I co-authored it with this gentleman, Ed Rykun, and I did it in 2009, 2010, and it was very interesting because I had the book, I had my part finished, we had the copy, I had the CD, I had the USB, and it was in my briefcase, and I was at the car dealership getting the tune-up on my car, and it was a high-end car dealership too, so there was no concern about anybody walking off with my bag or anything like that. They had security cameras all over the place, and I turned my back for 5 minutes, and then I turn around and my bag is gone. I'm going, oh my God, my book, it's in there, right? And we checked the security cameras. It was like 1 second it was there, and the next second it was not. And I swear to God, somebody came in from mid-dimension and just pulled it out and says, nope, it's not time. You can't do this. Not yet. Just gone. Poof. Not a trace. Nothing on the cameras or anybody saw anything. Unbelievable, huh?
Yes. That makes me feel better about my book disappearing years and years ago.
There you go.
Oh.
Yeah. So, anyways, perhaps one day I'll sit down and put my head into my computer and finish off my part of that book, which was totally taken away and gone. But anyways, very interesting stuff how we move through and operate with those who either stop us from getting ahead too fast, too soon, or from those who just don't want us to have that information out there, right? So very interesting indeed.
Indeed.
So do you have any questions about any of this so far?
Well, I've been asking questions right along. I know we want to talk to Ptah soon, but does anybody in the audience want to star 6 and come in and ask Mark a question at this point, or make a comment on what you've heard, a brief comment?
Yeah, we welcome a few comments for sure, or a question at this time, and then we'll move on.
It's just wonderful that My question is, when you have this council meeting, is it on a moon base, a Mars base, in a mothership? Where is this council meetings?
Well, we usually go off planet and into a different space. And I'll give you an example. Today, I did a meeting, and it's almost comical sometimes because, again, we'll either take the group into the Stonehenge and we'll teleport ourselves up to Arcturus, and we'll meet up there in the grand meeting hall where others come, and they're all dressed in their robes, and we all gather together and greet each other and mingle, and then we sit down and get to business. Or we have like an auditorium style meeting like we had today, where there was many different galactics came and joined, many different councils, many different people come forward, and even some of the speakers that are here giving messages on Earth show up to these meetings. And I haven't really reached out to any of them yet to say, hey, I saw you there, or hey, you were here at the meeting. A representative from Andronis was there, from Sirius, Andronis, who is another person out there who's bringing messages forward. And so it's very interesting. And so when I come through those meetings, I speak the light language. We speak together the light language. And today was more of sitting down and as Ptah was, I was just giving direction to a lot of these people that we're on track. Everything is good. Mother Earth is good. Things are unfolding as they're supposed to unfold. So a lot of good reassurance in that way, stating that we're on track for this rise in frequency throughout the summer and then going into the fall, into the winter. So it was very positive. There was no concerns. There was no, what about this or what about that? There was a lot of head nodding and agreement, and very, very positive to say. So that was a very good meeting we had today.
Well, that sounds wonderful. An odd thing that happened today was in Hawaii here on June 15th. This morning, they had snow.
No way, snow in Hawaii.
Yes, on the Big Island, yes.
Candy, can you hear me?
Yes.
Because I'm downstairs. What he just described, because we had a Rainbow Diamonds Council meeting today too, Mark, and that's kind of like exactly your overview of your meeting. It's kind of like how our meeting went. That's awesome. That's a good sign. And wonder makes you wonder. Thanks.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
The snow was not on the beach. It was up on the top of the volcano there on the Big Island. But still, it never happened in June before. Oh.
Amazing. Yeah, so very, very good news. So lots of positive things coming forward. And, of course, like even now this year, majority since last summer, a majority of it has been, and perhaps another time we'll share those stories and experiences, has been the rising of the Atlantean crystals, the transmutation of the negative energies, and moving forward to the diamond light and bringing that in. And so there's lots of other things that have been ongoing behind the scenes. And it's kind of interesting because I've been talking with a few of my friends, and they say, well, yeah, I read on the internet, or I read on Facebook, or I read here or there that, this light is coming through, or this energy is coming through. And then I say, well, what's the source of it? Where does it come from? How is it being activated? What's bringing it forward? And so when you hear some of the stories that I share, then you can see, wow, that's where it's coming from, or this is how it's happening, or this is what's going on behind the scenes to make this move forward. And so there's a lot of work being done behind the scenes. And as a result, this is why, again, I haven't really come out until just recently to begin talking about this stuff, because I have not been given the okay to come out and talk about these things until just recently. So now it's time.
So it was like my show, the Candy Shop show, the second or third show that you did?
It was a second show.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm honored that.
Welcome to the Diamond Network, Mark.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Definitely. It gives me an opportunity to share and to get the word out and to get the knowledge up, because when people understand and hear, then it spreads far and wide, and this is what needs to happen, is a greater understanding, because it is now time to assist humanity, and that's where we're at now, is getting the human frequencies up so that they may rise along with Gaia, Mother Sophia Gaia, yes. Yeah, so in saying that, if you're ready, Candy, and the audience ready, we can certainly move forward and bring a message from Ptah, and
absolutely. I would like to hear a little bit of the Pleiadian language, and then the way you translate, as you did on our show last week.
Yeah. I just want to welcome Ptah, officially Ptah, to the Diamonds Network Energies and all the other galactics listening and that will participate tonight. The highest good of all concern to you and your families, and we love you, respect you, and we look forward. We're working together with you, and we thank you, Ptah and Mark and others.
Indeed. Turukna terene I chiati ta trono o tukuhutu. Tukuhutu na da dradane itia tayana da hino o tuku. I say thank you as well to yourself and to your audience for having me on your show and for your blessings and concerns. It is heartfelt and it is indeed emotional for me to be able to come forward and to express after such a long time. I have not been able to come forward and express in such a way as it has been something that must have been kept underneath so as not to bring alarm as to what is going on, as to hinder our progress. And indeed, as I have also come through earlier as Ratah, I too wish to bring forward greetings and salutations to the listeners and to humanity and for those who are listening. It is through this act of bringing forward the frequencies through this station, this network, this modality, which the energies are being transmitted out to the earth, to humanity, and to those listening and to those not listening. It is important to understand that at this time, these frequencies and these messages must be sent out so that we can awaken those who are yet to be awakened. Ta tatunu kuntahayatarana dei kichiti ti daktroyono o tuhuntuhu chitutahaya de ne eki ke icha tanana doyono o tukuchi kitina te tadana kiatina. And indeed it is at this time, which was brought forward today, the understanding and the awareness of the light workers of the 144, that it is important to remember there are 9 aspects, 9 elements of the whole soul. So as all of these beings are being awakened and brought forward into creating this frequency, into creating this bandwidth, this length, this vibration in which to connect with the others around the planet, around the globe, we also take heart in knowing, and you also can take heart in knowing that the effect is very strong, very powerful. And also, at this point in time, if I may, I would like to express codes of light to assist in this awakening.
Absolutely. Please.
Okay. Da da na 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 tiro no otuku huta na ta trene e tiki cha ta trono okutu ni kea cha hana ha ke yochto triono o to kitia nai chachto to trono o tu kahana ha taikei chakta ta drene e toku huta uta na tae na tae ti tikuna ta krene e rokto o kuchiata. Indeed, as these codes are being sent out through the waves, through the audience, through the listeners, it is being transmitted around the globe. It will be picked up by those light workers, and they will begin to awaken. They will begin to come forward. It is through this modality and this channel that I am grateful that I am able to express these codes of light. Chana ate triane e kotohu, tutu ni ichi atayanara, at keia, na taiki ita uta, na trotoyono otu chaikitiata. I, at this point in time, will say thank you very much for the opportunity to come forward and to express, for the opportunity to come forward and meet yourself, Candy, and Elizabeth, and the others on the show, and your audience. I am grateful for coming forward, and of course, yes, of course, I am also being reminded of another topic, and this is something else perhaps we can talk about, the law of one, at another time. As the frequencies move through me right now, they're very strong and very high, so I will just take a moment here and allow these to permeate throughout the radio, throughout your bodies. Thank you.
Absolutely. Oh, we are honored that we could help facilitate sharing these light codes as you have given them this evening at 9:33 p.m. Central Time in America to awaken many, many more souls to their light worker status. This is so significant, and we are impressed that you've shared that it's not just 144,000, but it's 144,000 times 9, which is 1,296,000 souls to accomplish all of this. Yeah. We just give you such thanks, and we are honored. Yes,
Yes, I'm honored that we can have light codes come through this radio station and out to the earth. Thank you for finding Diamonds Network. I got to say this.
Okay. That's beautiful. I got to respond to you, okay?
Beautiful.
That just come out. Had it in me because I speak in the spirit. And it just had to come out. I don't know what we said, but maybe the audience knows. I don't know.
Well,
but
maybe
anyway,
Ptah can translate it. Was Elizabeth sharing pretty close to Pleiadian?
Well, it was. Yeah, it's an aspect of it. And it was like a song of joy and blessings and gratitude coming forward. And in my response was the masculine aspect of that joy, and gratitude towards this day, this gathering, this bringing together the peoples, and to assisting them moving forward with humanity. So, indeed, a most beautiful celebration, and definitely for those listeners who are listening live tonight, a wonderful opportunity to feel the frequencies, and these frequencies will permeate through their bodies, and who knows, maybe some of them might start talking Pleiadian tomorrow. Who knows?
It's wonderful that we could do the female and the male echo this evening. That's lovely. Just like I'm blessed by a field here on my farm, just full of thousands of fireflies as they shine their lights, the male and then the female responding, and so it goes, the yin yang throughout the universe, as we are all one.
Exactly. Yes, as we are all one. There is no question about that.
Would Michael like to share a message this evening?
Michael?
Yes. Would Michael have a message that you would want to translate for us this evening? Would Michael like to come to the show?
I don't have anything myself from Michael. No.
Oh, okay, that's fine. He's been here many times, and so that is fine. Do you have any other message from?
Well, what I can bring forward is maybe not so much a message, just an understanding, because I understand that you're very, very powerful and strong with the law of one, which is a beautiful thing. And this law came forward from Ra Ptah onto the earth plane. And of course the message, from what I understand, was everyone being one, everyone being connected, everyone being together, everyone being joined. Now I also understand that the scrolls for the law of one are still have not been discovered. They have not been brought forward, and they have not been found. I have been told of their location, and they will be, shall we say, they will come to the surface when it is time for them to come to the surface. In understanding the law of one, knowing that this was written by Ra Ptah, however you want to say it, there was also some other aspects of the law of one which I don't know if you're familiar or not about. That this writing of these laws was something when I was here at that time in Egypt, was something that had been written. And I'd also written in there that at that time, because the Pleiadians, believe it or not, were a non-monogamous race. They were very loving, they were very joyous, they were very grateful with each other. However, there was that sense, and so with the peoples at that time of Egypt, with the time of the rising, with the time of bringing in false gods and different things were going on, and it got out of hand, shall we say, because there were some darker energies that came forward at that time. We had the dark priests and priestesses of Egypt, and so on and so on. So this is an interesting one to add, was it was at that time where brought forward the law of monogamy, where thou shalt have only one partner, thou shalt have only one mate, and not have more than that. And I don't know if you're aware of that or familiar with that, but I just wanted to add that as well.
Very good, very good. We've been talking on Monday nights about tantric sex and these subjects, and so having this stated so clearly this evening by you, yes, we've heard something about the Pleiadians and the Syrians having really at times lots of different mates and mates for different types of reasonings. And so, but the law of monogamy then came forward in Egypt about 11,000 years ago, you're saying?
Yes, indeed. It came forward at that time. Yeah. And it was because of all that was going on at that time, too. There was a time where Ra Ptah had to leave Egypt for a while. There was an unrest. There was a strife. And he had to leave, and off he went to Thailand and other places for a time before he came back again. And, of course, he was destroyed in ancient Egypt by the high priests and priestesses and from the Dark Ones, from the Draconians. They captured him and destroyed him. And that, again, I think I touched briefly on that last time because I went through that experience. I relived that in my awakening of who I am. And, it was very horrific kind of ordeal because I was drawn in. I was somehow pulled in through some hypnosis, something I can't explain what it is, but the next thing I knew, and I'm experiencing this, and I'm experiencing the pain and the agony from it, and it wasn't very pleasant. Let's just say I was held captive, placed on a stone, a granite tabletop. I was raped by the high priestess, and then I was cut open, and they ate my organs and my body. They stored in the pyramid, and they consumed me over the course of the week. And they had thought that by doing that, they would gain access to Gaia's frequency, to her spirit, gain access to my frequency, my spirit, and gain access to there's 8 of us, our frequencies and our spirit. And so this is why this was done, this ritual, and this ritual continues today, as we know very well, in certain places of darkness. So it was a very negative, dark time, and I must say that was the last time I recall who I was, being who I am. And through the life cycle, reincarnation cycle, as we call it, since Egypt, I have gone through over 5,400 different lifetimes as well. Mind you, I've done thousands before Egypt, too, in different universes and different places. But, at that time it was very traumatic, so you can only imagine reliving that. It's one thing to go through it once, yet it's another thing to go through it a second time. However, the memory of going through the dark times, you don't have to do it again. So you can rise through it, and the dark cannot touch you. So that's a blessing in that way. Once you have experienced something once, the law of cause and effect states that it will not happen again. So,
wow.
Dark times they were, indeed, yes. Dark times they were indeed. However, we are moving forward, and those times were also predestined, shall we say. As Ptah, I knew that was going to happen. I volunteered for the task, and it was decided back in ancient Atlantis that this was going to happen and that I would take the fall. I would take the hit for the fall of Egypt, for the dark times, for the dark ones who came in, became the ones who controlled Egypt, and they turned into the Illuminati and what we have today going on in the control system of the earth. It all started because of that tipping point. And so let's just say I'm here to right a wrong in that sense. Yes, indeed. So it weighs heavy on my heart, weighs heavy on my soul. However, I am here to be of service and to assist the new creation of the new earth, the rise and the ascension of Gaia and humanity to a wonderful new time, another golden age, and it is going to happen. That's the good news.
Wow, of course. You know, I want to mention again on the Candy Shop Show about the many things that happened in my life to lead me here. I shared much of this in my Diamond Network workshop put up last October in the archives on YouTube. But of course, one important event was my being led to Stonehenge and being allowed in those early years to sit on some of the stones and wander through them and meditate, and then also to be able to go to the British Museum and physically touch the Rosetta Stone.
Right.
And some of the caskets of the mummies and those from ancient Egypt. That was I can look back now and see how important that connection was for me.
Indeed, yes. I can only imagine that as it activated things inside of you, and brought you forward, and of course brought you on the path that you are on today, correct?
Yes, yes. Now, for those of you two taking notes as you're listening, Ptah is spelled P-T-A-H, and how do you like to write out Ratah?
I just spell R-A-T-A.
Okay, great.
Ratah. So to understand it properly, Ra is the sun entity, deity, so to speak. Ta is of the earth, Terra. So Ratah is the earthly embodiment of Ra. Basically, that's what that means.
So I have a question, Candy.
Yes, Elizabeth.
Those 9, what did you call them? 9 sparks, right? 9 sparks from each person. And all of our 9 sparks on Earth as people?
That's a very good question. In my experiences, as I have seen, rising up through the different frequencies, I have come across several Ratahs out there. I have met several Ptah out there as well, which I have done work with also. And obviously last week we heard on the show that there was another Ptah, right?
Yeah.
And so they could be not necessarily all here at the same time. They could have come and left maybe 10 years ago, 20 years ago and served their purpose. However, it still was here while we were here, so it's all part of that same timeline, energy.
Okay. So think quantum physics and energy. If just say like I met one of my sparks here on Earth, a person, but we're not conscious of it. Those two energies meeting, wouldn't we feel something special? Wouldn't we feel some kind of connection, and then probably maybe have an experience that we're both one, or you know what I mean? I don't know. That it's kind of like those movies, switching places, the Disney movies.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? And I have not memory of experiencing that, and I did not meet this one down in California because that one's passed away, and where the others are, I don't know. I can't tell you. I unfortunately cannot tap into that for some reason or not. So there must be a purpose, a reason.
Yeah, there must be a purpose. What about 4 of us meet on Earth? Boy, that'd be a powerful group, huh? I wonder what that would look like.
Absolutely. I think that'd be time for a party, right? A gathering, a feast, celebration. Yeah, it's interesting to hear these words when they come forward. And like I said, for me too, I'm just getting this one from one of the guides and guidance from the Earth Council. So it's new to me and understanding. Again, I get more and more understanding coming through every day as my downloads come through, and I am waking up, because with anybody who is waking up, no matter who they are, I say this: too much information at once will cause overload. There will be many times in my path where I didn't know if I could deal with the knowledge that was coming into me of who I am, why I'm here, and what I'm here to do. It can be very distressful. It can be very overwhelming. And you could basically pop. Really, you could basically pop. So we're only given what we can take at any given time as we rise through our understanding and wake up and access the vertical time versus the linear time. And this is what this is. We're accessing the vertical time, the time that everything is happening now. There is only now, past, present, and future. I have been shown the future from the past, from ancient Lemurian times, and I was told what I had to do at this time back then. And every other time when I came forward into the earth plane, I was told what I had to do. And so it's accumulation of all those memories which are opening up for me. And so again, on the last show, like I mentioned, all these languages that I have known in past lifetimes are starting to come through fluently without even thinking about it. And so as everyone has their journey and everyone rises higher and higher in frequency, these things will occur and will happen. And so just to be kind to yourself, patient with yourself, be loving to yourself, remember to stay grounded, keep lots of liquids in your body, and to take time out just take time out. That's for sure, because it is a journey. It is an experience. We all here to gain reference, and we are all here to express as a greater aspect of the Creator. Absolutely.
Wonderful, wonderful. And is that your message for us getting ready for the summer solstice on the 20th? Or would you or Ptah like to say anything more about what we can expect or experience or prepare for, specifically this important solstice coming up?
Well, actually, just coming straight forward, without speaking the Palladian, is that, yes, indeed, it is time to rejoice, it is time to celebrate, it is time to nurture yourself, be kind to yourself. Know that you are going through changes. Know that there are shifts coming. Know that you are releasing things in your life that no longer serve you. The 3D world, the material world, is slowly falling away, and we are making way for higher energies coming through. We are making way for the ability to create and manifest at a greater level, at a faster level. Be very mindful of our thoughts and where we are going with our intentions. Be pure of heart. Stay within the heart. Be kind to those around you, your loved ones, and even strangers on the street. Just be open. Be kind. Love each and every one. We are on the right path. We are in the right direction. It is going to be an interesting summer, this whole time through the solstice and on to the fall. So I just say enjoy the ride and take time out for yourself. Be kind. Do not be harsh, and just know that, yes, we are moving through this phase, and yes, we shall get through it. Absolutely. And that's my message for today. And in brief, from Ptah, on this level, Tarutna, Tarene E Kicha, Tatroino Otu, Tukuntahayada, Nachtato Toyono Okutahayatia. I say thank you very much once again for sharing, for allowing for me to share with you, and for you sharing yourself on this time, on this sacred journey which we have here on this earth plane. We thank the Mother Earth, Gaia herself, for being that beautiful, sacred being that she is, for allowing us to be here and share her experience through her journey, and with each and every one out there. It is time now to stay in our hearts, to be in our hearts, and to connect with those around us in the most loving way. I thank you very much. I am grateful, and thank you to all you listeners out there as well for being here today and for allowing me to share your time and your space. Namaste.
Yes, namaste. This has just been wonderful. And again, remember, 144,000 times 9 is 1,296,000. Let's just be visualizing that these light workers wake up and find their role quickly to help those of us who are listening right now. And I've just now added up that number, and 1296 adds up to 9, the number of completion.
Indeed.
Thank you, Mark, so very much. Would you be able to come back next Wednesday?
I believe I can, Candy. Yes, absolutely. I'd love to.
All right, wonderful. Hey, everybody. Isn't Mark wonderful? Just thank you all for joining the Candy Shop Show this evening. Have a great solstice, Mark and everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, and happy solstice, everybody, too.
Thank you, Mark. It was wonderful. Happy solstice.
Thank you. Happy solstice.
Yeah.
Are you looking for healing or a change in your life to help you enjoy it more fully? You might benefit from a galactic energy reading and clearing from Chris Jacobs. Chris will work with you on a soul level to clear unseen negative influences, implants, programs, contracts, and energetic blocks. Chris Jacobs is a gifted energy healer. Contact him today at ChristopherStephenJacobs@gmail.com.